Hey friends, Christine here, and today I have a quick tutorial, or I don't know how quick it is actually, but I have a tutorial on how to use one of my new kits, and it's a sort of Valentine's Day vibe, but not like all in with hearts. In fact, I'm not sure there are really many hearts in it at all. But it was an idea that was sent to me from Barbara, so thank you, Barbara. It was a great idea, and it was basically to take another design I had earlier, I think they were paper clips, and make them into tags. So I did that because I was working on something with birds, but I thought, oh, I like the cat idea and the Queen of Hearts idea. So I made some artwork that included Queen of Hearts and cats. So this was the simplest tag you could make, and it's simply you glue the sides together and voila, you have a tag. But then of course I had to make it a little bit froofy because it is Valentine's Day. So I do show in the video how to make this lacy one. And then I took it where I'd normally take things, which is, okay, so that's good. We can make some tags quick and easy if that's what you need, but we can do some other things as well. So here, for example, this is part of the kit. And I will mention that anywhere where you see a number, it's not part of the kit. I used it because I was playing around with that kit. I just designed that too. But I'll make sure you get some sort of discount if you want to buy that kit as well. But again, all these ideas are really just that. They're just ideas for you, and you can use any papers you want, and I'm sure you can come up with even more creative things to do with some of these elements and concepts. So here's one, and this has tin can used on it, and it creates a little bit of a tuck spot. It has a doily. Now the doilies, I have some doilies and I was able to use them, and I did in a few of these. I am including a few doily designs in the kit itself. There are a couple of them here that if you have a Cricut, you can cut them out. So there'll be an SVG file for some of these in case you don't have doilies available and want to get something frou-free going on. So here we go. It's a folio, mini folio, so it's technically, in my mind, a tag still, except that it's a little bit more involved. So here's our Queen of Hearts, and here's the option when you don't do anything with it, just make a tag, and then here's how you print it, and it can create something more elaborate and fun. So this is how it goes. Oh, this is how it goes. I guess it could go that way too. But these come out. So these aren't even stuck, and I do show how that works on the video. So let me put this back in. So there are these, and again, it can just stick into a pocket or something, or another tuck spot in your journal. And to my mind, it's still a tag. Same with this one. This one has journaling space here that you could just do some journaling. This can go this way. This one, same thing. This is like a step up from the tag in that it is a tag shape, but it has a pocket inside. And I'll show you how to do this. And a little double tag here. And then here's a little doily and some dictionary book pages, stuff trying to eat up some of my stash. And then this can just stick right in here or anywhere you like it. Same thing with this. Now this is a second version that's included in the kit, and it allows you to make a triple pocket. So here's one pocket, and then here's another pocket, and then depending on how you insert it or glue it into your journal, this could be a third pocket right here. So there's that. And I don't think I covered how I made this, but all I did is I basically took a doily and I folded it in thirds like a cone, and then I glued some of the circles that come out in the kit. The other thing about the kit is that you're able to use regular punches. The sizing is that way. So here's two. It's another cute little doily, and the cat print and the art print, or the floral behind it, and the letters all are part of the kit when you open it up. And again, it's just journaling space. This is part of the kit as well. So that is the idea. And then I said, well, geez, I could just make a little notebook with it. And so of course I did, and I used scraps from when I was making something else, and I was able to make the little tuck spot, and using scraps to make the the journaling card. So this is like a super flexible kit. So I hope that you'll take a look at it and see if anything strikes you. And again, I'm always happy to hear about even more creative ideas. So share with us, you know, what you're doing with it, or if you've used any of the ideas with other papers and how you did it. So now we're going to take a look at the methods for making some of these, and anything I don't cover, just holler and I will make sure that you know how to do it. And I hope everyone has a great Valentine's Day, whether it's filled with hearts or not. All right, so let's make the simplest thing we can, which is a simple tag. And to do that, we're just going to use part of a printout. See, just this part. We're just going to cut this part out, cut that off, and then we can use these parts as scraps for other items, like little tags and tuck spots and whatnot. So again, we're just going to cut that out of the printout, fold it, and glue it. Now I have this idea I want to try, and it's going to be to actually put some lace around it and make it kind of girly, which is not something I am. So to do that, I really do want to cut this in half because I want the lace to go all the way around. So I'm going to line this up as straight as I can and then just come down and slice it. Now I might have to trim it. Oop. I might have to trim it after I cut it so that they're both the same size, but let's do that. So now I've got flowers on one side and the cat on the other. And yeah, I need to trim it up. I should have just left it folded and cut off the fold, but we'll go again. That's okay. It all works. All right, so now I'm going to pick one side, which would be the back. And if you were going to round corners, which might be a nice thing, this would be the time to do it. So I'm going to do medium. I'm going to keep them aligned. And if you were going to ink, this would be the time to do it. I'll save us a little time and not do that. So I'm going to use this really skinny seam binding. And I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to use the quick drying glue to get it in place. You probably could use sticky tape if you were really adept at turning corners with lace. But I'm just going to start here. I'm starting at the bottom, kind of in the middle. That's where I think I'm going to have it overlap. And this glue doesn't want to come out. It needs to help me a little bit here. We'll start with that. All right, so I'm just going to stick this here. Just decide kind of where. And I'm going to pinch this corner so that it miters. It's easier if I come up here and then pinch a little bit and come up here. And then of course, put the original one back. You could also just slice the corner, but I'm not going to do that. Then you can come in here and give it a little glue for itself to keep the corner in the corner. Come on, glue. You know, it only acts up when we have company. So, all right, let's give it a second. All right, I'm gonna come down this way. And I might wind up just slicing these corners. Oh, why is it coming off? I ask you. Okay, so now I just usually just hold it in the corner and give it a turn. And give it a rub because it's not wanting to stick, and I don't know if it's the material I'm using or what. But we're gonna just leave it like this for a second and hope it catches on. Now this really is just sort of a preliminary glue anyway, because I'm going to glue it to another piece of cardstock. And I'm using for this 110 pound index as my paper. So now, just keep it folded there. And come down. And one more time. Again, keep it easier if I had a little bit more slack in my ribbon. Oh, you guys, look at this. I should just tape it. All right. Oh, come on. Stay. And now, same thing up here. Just sort of fold it and turn. All right, so now I've got basically the whole thing surrounded with lace. Not all sticking, but we'll fix that in a minute. And I'm gonna come in here because that's not sticking. Need my scissors. Now I'm gonna cut this way. Now I just want to look at the other side and see if there's an up and down. That's the top. So I'm going to now just glue this here. And then we have a nice old-fashioned looking Valentine card tag. Oh, but for this now we can use regular glue, and then probably it won't be so snotty. So now I'm just going to take the fabric, whatever, come along all of that glued area. I do want to get it out to the edges without being too messy there. That should be good. All right, so now I'm going to just double check again. What was the top? That was the top. Put in my little cat card. Line them up. Yeah, this one corner I didn't do so well. So we're going to pull on it a little bit. There we go. The others are better. And then again, just sort of line it up. And there's just a cute, basic, traditional looking Valentine. That we could, of course, embellish further. We could put a bow, we could put a little card, we could add a slot to hang it, or a slot to add a ribbon. But there you go, very simple. All right. All right, so now we're going to make another kind of pocket. It's sort of a triple pocket. And I want you to pay attention to one thing, which is the idea that there's two kinds of artwork in the file. If you buy this file, I mean, these ideas you can of course use with any paper and anything, but if you're going to get the kit and use the elements from it, then this is the format we're using for this project. It's going to be a triple pocket. And then this is the format for some of the others. And you can see the difference is the cat art is going vertically here on the long paper, and it's going horizontal here. So for this, we want the one where the cat is facing horizontally. So now we want to cut this out. So as I said, we want to, I'll just show you, we'll fold this one up. And that one's going to be folded over all the way. And you can see I've printed on both sides of this. It's another difference. Many of the others you can just print on the one side, but this one needs, if you want a finished look on the inside, you need to print something on the other side. And I just chose this. So this is going to go like that, and that's going to close. So now you can see that's how it closes, and this often happens where you need to sort of trim an edge or two because maybe your fold isn't as perfect as it should be. There. Okay, so mine's pretty good. I'm going to trim off this little top part, and I'm just going to run my knife easily, simply a few times to get that nice and flush. And now I'm going to come here and I want to trim however much of a difference you want. So this will be one pocket, this will be one pocket, and that will be another. So I'm going to take it maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4, maybe a full inch. I think I'll do a full inch. Yeah, I'll do a full inch, or however wide this ruler is. How's that? Just going to line up my ruler to the top edge and then cut this part off. And again, you don't have to. There's all sorts of other ideas you can get from this using this, but now you can see this is going that way, that's going that way. So now we want to round corners and put in thumb notches if we're using them. All right, so now here's also the time when we would ink and do our thumb notches. So let's do those. And I'm going to do one here. Just kind of winging it. I'm going to do one here, trying to keep it sort of in the same vicinity as my first one. There we go. And inking. So I do want to ink, even though these are dark patterns, there's still, you can make a little bit of definition by inking. Alright, so now what we can do, we can put another notch here, and then this can become a pocket as well. So I'm going to do that, because for what I'm going to do with it, that's how I want it. So I'm just kind of lining it up with the others. You just kind of wing it. There we go. So let's give that some inking. And then it's just gluing it up. So the first thing we're going to do is simple stripes right there. We don't need to do the bottom because it goes to the bottom of the card. There's one. For this one we need to do both of these sides. I'm going to use the skinny glue for this because it dries fast and it's skinny. And you kind of want to hit the bottom a little bit, you know, that corner. And then up it goes. So now we have essentially 3 pockets. We have this pocket here, this pocket, and then when we glue this in to our journals, this will be another pocket back here. All right, and then the front is adorable with a cat. Now you can continue to froof this up. You can do all sorts of things to it. This one I'm not going to do. We're going to get froofier later. But there's another way to use this. So, and that's a little bit different than this version, which just uses the vertical kind, and we just cut off the top. So you can see what we did. So this gets folded up here. Here's the front, there's the back. It can work as a tag itself, so you can put it into a bigger pocket, and there you have it. So there's 2 different kinds. Very simple still. We're not getting froofy yet. But here too, I mean, if you wanted to, you could decorate with maybe some lace, a little piece of lace here, and then a label tag or a number. Although this doesn't come with the kit, this is a different kit, but if you wanted to use a number like the 14th, if you wanted to give a little wink to Valentine's Day, you may do that. All right, so now where are we headed? Let's see. Well, this is the original, which is simply the whole shebang with a journaling space. And here we use some book pages, the letter, some lace, and some of the other doodads that come with the kit to embellish. So I think I won't go through doing this because you can see how simple it is. It's simply cutting and folding. We're going to cut this out. I'm going to fold this up. I'm sorry, I'm going to fold this in, fold this down, and fold that up, however you like it. And you could do the back, you could decorate the back. So that's another version. I'm going to move this. So now, let's get a little fancier. Let's do this guy. All right, so what should we do with him? We're gonna make this one fancy schmancy. So let's start, we have to cut it out. Now this I printed on cardstock. I think it's actually 100-pound or 110-pound cardstock, so it's pretty hefty. So I am going to score a couple of the folds because when you're dealing with paper this thick, it's just a smart thing to do. So here, for example, I know I'm going to fold along there. So I'm going to go get my little tiny baby widger thing here. Line it up, and score there. I also know I'm going to score each of, or fold each of these, so I'm going to score there. You don't have to, not everybody scores. Even on Valentine's Day. Sorry, that was crass humor. But it's true. Okay, so now I'm going to cut. All right, we have that all cut. And you can see here I printed on the other side so we could save the little pieces that we cut out because they definitely work as journaling cards for this particular kit. So now we simply fold in, and we've already scored, so it should fold well and straight. And again, we might have to trim, that's okay. Let me fold this one up and fold this one down. So here's a difference of where, because I use such thick material for this one, that it doesn't meet exactly, but that's okay for this one because we're making this one fancy. But be aware of that if you're going to use thick material like this, you really, it just fits as printed on most paper and most printers. So if you need to use a thicker paper or want to use a thicker paper, as I did here, it's just going to meet here. Whereas with a thinner paper, there's a skosh more room. So there we have it. All right. So now let's make it fancy. So here's some ideas. All right, first I've got some great little doilies, and it's Valentine's Day. So I mean, if you can't use a doily on Valentine's Day, when can you use it? Then in the kit, there's also little kitties like this. All right, so we could simply, I mean, that alone is pretty cute. I would just do that. Or you could do a 2-inch circle cutout of really anything. Here, we could do this. Let's trim this up so we can get closer. And we want the 2-inch guy. So let's just do this. And of course, you could figure out words that are meaningful to Valentine's Day or whatever that you're doing the card for, or the tag. And then use the little guy here. So here's like a whole different look. See that? So it's got the journal page or the dictionary page, the doily, and the little cat. Or you could just do the big cat. Or you could do, here's for example, a piece of, let me get rid of this, I don't need it. A piece, this was one of those, one of these paint chip cards that I have. You could put this on and put that here and then use one of the smaller cats. Or you could do all of that with the tin. This is a tin can, same thing, used, and I embossed it. But again, you don't have to get this fancy. You could use any book pages you have. You could even use some of the cutoffs for like what we've done here. I could cut this into a circle, but I want to use that for a card. Also, if you don't have doilies, because not everybody does, God forbid, I have a couple of designs in the kit that, like for example, I cut this out on my Cricut. I cut these out, all of these on my Cricut, because I wasn't going to actually use doilies, but then I said, well, wait a minute, I have doilies, let's use those. But those are options for people who are doily-less. So now I just need to decide, how do I want to do this? I think I might go this way, because another option would be to not do a cat, since there's a cat on the inside, and instead take a label. Really, again, the whole idea here is that there's so much variety that you could do with just these elements, that, yeah, the sky's the limit. And you're probably going to think of things far more spectacular than anything I've already done, but we all do our things. That's the beauty of it. And you know I'm going to have to ink this if I'm going to use it. So here it could be this with an S. It could be like S. It could be S in the center. It could be S on the side. Another thing that comes with this kit are big floral circles. So we could take any number of these. I thought I had some already cut out. Clearly I have one cut out, but you get the idea. So we could just as easily, here I'll show you. Let's pick, this one's close to the edge. Sometimes you have to trim it so you could get close enough with the chomper. But let's take one with this accent color in it. Oh, come on. And so maybe instead of this, we do this. And this. So they're a whole different look, same idea. You could come back with little kitty. You could also print the floral smaller, and you could have dictionary page and then just little floral, and that might be cute. So that's all I'm showing you, that there are just so many different options for this. So I'm going to glue this up. I'm not going to talk. You've seen what I'm doing. I think I might just go this way, because I kind of like that. Yeah. But again, I mean, lots of other options if you want to get fancier. So let's do some glue. I'm just going to glue here. And remember to only glue it to one side of your flaps. Oh, I did not round my corners, which is okay, especially here because it's supposed to meet. So now I'm going to line this up to where I think I want it. And glue it right down. Now I can come back here and look if it's glued enough. Yeah, that is good. All right, so now, and then I'm going to glue this here this way, like so. Yep. I should bound that a little more. It's going to keep popping out until I get this glued on. Oh, I need to ink this. All right. Okay. Now, where's my little kitten? Where's my little kitty? There it is. Oh. I think I'm going to put this. Could even put it down here. It doesn't have to be. Could be up there too, though. You know, interesting, because when you open it up, you see another cat. So, sort of like, maybe I don't want a cat there. Maybe I will use an initial. Yeah, let's do an initial. I didn't ink this either. Oh well, I'm not going to. I'll live. I don't know. I really like the little cat there. I could do both. Couldn't I? Yes, I could do both. I'll save that. I'll do this. There we go. Kind of centered, but maybe not perfectly straight. Up and down. Oh, now I'll take my little S. I'm going to put it down here. There we go. Oh, be careful. It went through the lace doily, which I should have imagined that it would. So I'm going to give this a second to dry, and then I'll just erase the glue. I could do that now. Yeah, it's already pretty dry. So of course that is something to be aware of, that until this dries here, I don't want to press it down too hard and have it stick. So there's a fancier guy. Now this guy's sort of screaming for rounded corners. So that's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to use the bigger one because I'm going through several layers of pretty hefty cardstock here. I'm still only going to use the, there we go. Just soften those edges. I mean, it is romance and love and soft. All right. Beautiful. Now here, this is all journaling space that you can use. And I would do these edges too, because that's how I am. All right, so here too, you get the main idea for this one. All right, so I'm not going to press this one down, as we know, because of that glue, although I think it's dry at this point. Now we've got this plain pocket, we've got the other plain pockets, we've got this one with more journal space. Then we're going to do this one, which I kind of like a lot. This one, same idea, it's what you've seen. So here's some more scrap you could definitely use as little cards for these, a little input. Here's one where I use the circle to make a tuck spot. Now I would put a different card in. Let me trim this to be nice journaling space. And I can go right in there. Close this way, this way, this way. Okay. Likewise, you can close it this way too if you prefer. I folded it so that this folded in, so I'm not going to do that, but you could. So again, it's all super, super flexible. But I'm going to show you how I put these on, because this was really kind of cute and fun and easy. And you could certainly do more with it than I've done here even. So let me show you. So we have basically tin can that I put through the Sizzix embosser with an embossing folder. And then I took a circle cutter. And in this case, of this one, I took one of the smaller circles, so here, and we came over here. We need two of them. There's one, please fit. It's just going to make it good. Now what I have found the easiest way to bend these in half and get them actually in half is to bend them around something round, like a dowel, or in my case, I'm going to use this knife. And I'm going to just start bending them, and then you could start to see where they meet, where the edges meet. Okay, and that gives you a better go at getting them actually centered. Ta-da! So to show you that again, you're going to put it on something round and bring each side to meet the other. And you can kind of adjust it at this point. And then you want to remove that round thing. So be careful if you're using a knife like I am. And then you can just press. And that will give you sort of the center without giving you a crease. If you had just tried to take this and bend it, it starts to crease if you don't put something around. And if it does crease, here, I'll just do this one. You know, it's going to crease wherever it creases. And here I'm off a little bit. So just a little tip. All right, so now for these, you just want to give it a good crisp fold. So you want to bone folder it or something. And then, let me see if I have one here that I can use. I don't have one made up. Give me a second. Well, I mean, I could just show you here because these come off. You can take them off. They'll stay on their own. But basically, once you have them well folded and creased, you just find the opening, and don't open it too much, but you just slip it on. This one is so perfectly closed, it's gonna, there we go. And now we could just move it over to the center. So there's one. I can take the other one and put it on the top. And there too, just find, there we go. And again, they will stay on. If you want to glue them, go for it. I didn't, and then you just want to line them up. Yeah, I could spend days doing that, lining them up. But there you have it. So a nice little metal element, which is nice. And you could still continue to decorate. So, I mean, you could do a half doily. Even do this. That'll make me crazy. Now you can do something like that. Put a half on. And take your little doodad here and stick that on. So now you've got an even fancier sort of fold here. And of course you want to get them both centered. There we go. And you could trim the edges like so. Card. And now you have another fancy little thing. And you could do the same on the bottom. Stick another doily, same kind, and you would have a circular thing. So again, just simple ideas for you to think about as you use some of the elements. So what else is in the kit? Oh, we could make a book. Hold on. Yes, so in the same pages that we've used to make these items, we can also make a cute little journal, and we're going to do that now. So what I've done is I've printed a few of the ledger sheets and the collage page onto plain old copy paper on both sides, and I've printed one of the cat cards, one of these designs, right onto a 110 cardstock. So we are going to cut this one out. And I am going to give it a little score here and there because we know we're folding it, and this is pretty hefty paper. So I'm just lining up this where the fold is going to be. I'm going to keep this on, but I'm cutting this off. So I will show you all of it. It's super easy. So let's cut. So I'm cutting this section off because I don't need a top flap. Take it right off. But I'm leaving this side on, the bottom flap, because it's going to be an interior flap for me. Okay, I'm going to score here again, just because it's pretty hefty paper, and this is going against the grain as well. Roll this up. And this is going to come this way. Now you might have to, in fact you will have to trim this a little shy of the spine area. But we're going to trim it even more in a second. This is going to go up. This is going to come over. You want to line it with the corners. Oh. And now we'll trim this edge, just so it's all square. And again, just a few swipes, light swipes. Don't go too deep. And you get a nice clean fold, or a clean cut. There we go. All right, so now here we have this flap, which will be in the back, but I want to round the corner. So you could just take anything round. And you're going to line it up with each edge. I usually just do it by putting the knife against it and then cut along the arc. Alright, so now we have a cute little pocket here that will hold things. So let's glue that up. And we only have to glue this edge here. Easy peasy. All right, so there's our cover basically. Now of course we can round corners, and we'll do that, but not until we put in our signatures. So for the signatures, again, this is plain copy paper, and I simply printed it on two sides. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm just going to stick it right into my little book here and trim. I mean, this is how easy we're doing this. This is I use a ruler just because my hands have been unreliable in terms of keeping things straight. So now I'm just going to take this out, gone. I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay, so now we have those. Take these out and put the bottom sheets in because they need further trimming. We're not going to do this outer edge or the foredge of the book until we actually bind them, sew them in. Okay. So we have our signatures. You might want to take a look at them and rearrange them in some way. Or maybe not. I feel like one's missing. No, there's one. Let's put this in here. It's all good. Okay, so now put it back into our book. And again, we're not using an awl. We're not pre-punching. We're just going to use a decently sized needle. That one's a little too big. It is almost the size of my awl. This one looks good. And then I'm using upholstery thread. You could use a few strands of embroidery floss. You could use actual bookbinding linen, but it's sort of overkill for this. So now let's make a double strand of this. And give it a nice little knot at the bottom. All right, so we have our thread ready, and we're going to put some clips just to make life simple. And when you put these clips on, you want your book fairly closed, because if you put them on with the book more open, there'll be a shift in where the paper settles in. So now, let me get this back to centered. So we're simply going to, I've got some nerve things going on with my hands. So every once in a while, they just don't want to hold things. Okay, so we're going to come into the center. I want my final knot in the center, on the inside, so we're going to start on the inside. I'm just going to pick a place that feels like the middle of the book. I'm going to come in. And now we can even take our thing here, little clip, and keep that clip together. And we're going to come to the outside, and we're going to go in. And again, you want to keep your book fairly closed to do this, so you catch all the papers. And we're going to go about a ½ inch down. And again, you want to just make sure that you get all the papers. There we go. Now we're going to come all the way down to the other end. And we're going to be again about a ½ inch from the bottom. And we're going to push out to the top, to the outside. And this always gets hung up on the clip. It like never fails. There we go. Okay, so now you can see it's going all the way down. And now we're just going to go back into our center hole. So I'm going to move there we go. It's sometimes easier if we close it. Let's close the book. Go back into the center. There we go. And we want to come out on the other side of the long strand. Give it a good tug. Untie this. And let's make a knot. And let's make it a double knot. And we clip. So that's all there is to that. Now we're going to trim to the edge. So these pages still need to be trimmed. So just like we've been doing. All right, so now we have our book and we can round corners, which I will. And you have to do them sort of together and not. I do the covers on their own. And then the interior pages. There we go. And those I do a bunch at a time. All right. Oh, I missed one. Come back here. That one got away. There we go. All right. So now we have this super cute little Valentine-ish mini journal with a pocket in the back, so you could stick things in. It'll fit. And that's it. It's that easy. So there too, this kit is super, super, super flexible. You can make all sorts of things with it. And as importantly, know that you can use all sorts of your own papers with the same designs to create little Valentine cards or journal folios or books and pockets and tags. So I hope this was fun for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for being here. And I will see you next time. Go create the awesome.